Hey, I think we made
Mm.
it. So
Powerful day to connect.
it was, man. I felt really giddy getting up there. I'm David Hauser. This is the wonderful and amorous, incredible Eben Larson.
Thank you.
And we are here to talk about quantum synchronicity. The solar eclipse just happened in Libra, and I got to say, it was an incredible feeling leading up to that. How did it affect you?
Well, I can definitely feel a shift. And again, it seems that with this eclipse season that we're in, it really is almost like an ego soul face off within ourselves, where we really have to get into the nitty gritty of where we're still lying to ourselves, where we are having the opportunity to get more conscious about where we truly are coming from with our motivations and intentions, and how much we actually tend to project outward and trying to find the answers on the outside, which they are not, obviously. We can see that in the political climate right now, all of this power that we're trying to give away and finger point towards. Very emotional time for many in regards to what's on the big screen, so to speak. And I think this is a really great time for us to really go inwards, because that is where the change lies. I think we've known that for a long time, and I feel that it's becoming very palpable now, more so than ever, that we can't really hold the exterior, so to speak, responsible for what's going on. We have to change within.
Absolutely, it's about finding our own personal balance. But an interesting thing astrologically about this event is the Ceci squares. Uh, Uranus is Ceci square the Moon, the Sun, and Mercury, and Neptune is Ceci square Venus. So these Ceci squares, to me, in this new paradigm, homogenized down, has to do with being out of sync with the universe. It's Uranus, it's the Buddha, it's the awakened one.
Mhm.
We are this eclipse is reminding us to reconnect to that higher power, that common thread, that the endless knot, like the Tibetans say, that bring us all together. So this is really the understory of the I balance. I balance my synchronicity.
Yes. Yes, indeed, and again, I completely agree with that, and again, it's so palpable for us individually, because just like this, the way I put it, the soul ego face off that we have going on within ourselves, is that for us to be indeed in that alignment that you just talked to, it is about resonating and aligning with our own souls, our own spirit, our own soul connection to the divine, to the universe, if we will, and if we want to create more consciously create the world, if you want to get the world to look like what we would like it to be, we really have to look at where we are in our own way of that. We can't
Absolutely.
we
And
can't anymore expect somebody else to come and save us and show us the way. It has to come from within.
and with Neptune, Ceci square Venus, it just like underscores that as that the synchronicity starts with self-love,
Yep.
and without that, all the other things won't fall in line. So
Hmm.
it really is getting in touch with your dreams, your renewed, reborn identity, because of all the events that led up to now. Certainly, most of us via Pluto have gone through this rebirth. And this rebirth, it's just time for us to accept the identity that we are meant to have versus the one we thought we had to have. And today is definitely saying, "Come back, resonate."
Yes, and yes, absolutely. It is about that, and we can really look back into the past, I would say two decades ish, right? Of what it is that we've learned about ourselves, and how we either connect to what we call the exterior reality or not. Where's the dissonance and where's the resonance? And now it's almost like we have seen it all. What do we do with it? Right? We can no longer really lie to ourselves, in regards to where it is that we are lying to ourselves. We can't really hide anymore. And the only way that it seems that humanity is still trying to hide is yet again to project outward. Right? We get very, very emotionally invested in the political figures, for example. We either hate or love, and if we're not on one side, then we are certainly from the other. There's no such thing anymore as being in the middle, it seems, politically speaking. And that is where, if we take that inward, instead of looking at the players, look at what these players actually reflect inside ourselves.
Yeah, well said.
And that is again, the quantum field is showing us something, right? The
Mhm.
quantum field is showing us on the big screen what is going on within us all. So, and this is going to ruffle some feathers, what I'm going to say, but we all have a Trump inside. We all have a Kamala inside, right? We all have aspects of these personalities. We all have aspects of these energetics. And wherever it is that we feel that we're biased, this is where we can go a little bit deeper and look at, so what it is that we feel so antagonistic about, that we blame and shame. What is that within ourselves that we might still be blaming and shaming? And those qualities that are presented by, for example, these two figures. I think that is really what we can do with what the world is showing us right now in the quantum field to shift.
I think that you're absolutely right. These things are triggering, childhood memories or memories when we experienced being those personas in some respect. And the interesting thing is the North Node right now is opposed the moon, the sun, and Mercury. So it's this emotional pull away from the old paradigm into the new paradigm, and realizing that those old emotional responses, those old looks at your identity, and those old ways of thinking
Yeah.
are not gonna work. And if you don't recognize them and use them as energy instead of digressions, then we'll be able to pull out of that view and see the bigger picture in the quantum field, and understand that all those past memories were all aids and tools to get us to this point now. And separating fact from fiction, being away from the dualistic nature of the worldliness, will definitely restore our humanity, our humaneness.
Yes. Yeah, it is indeed taking another different look at the wounded healer, right? The wounded selves, parts of ourselves that we actually spoke about at the full moon eclipse in April together. We started talking about that, and this is another aspect of that. Again, when we project outward, that is a wounded response. When we blame or shame, it is a wounded response. When we, in this, again, because we're coming up towards the elections, when we vote against, it is a wounded response.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what in the quantum field happens when we vote against, we actually put more energy towards what it is that we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I think people are going to have the possibility to wake up to, is that their energy that is fueled with an antagonism, again, is actually going to just produce more of the same. That's how the quantum field works. The universe does not understand no.
Speaking of that, Chiron is actually squared Mars right now. So that's, you're absolutely right. If we fall into those childhood wounded traps, we're going to take action in ways that will not be productive at all.
Mhm.
And that's globally, big picture, small picture, doesn't matter. And right next door, Chiron is sextile Jupiter. So it's like there, your inner child is trying to say, hey, remember when life was good and fun and we used to, expand our consciousness, our awareness, and really see the big picture. So, our inner child is really whispering to us, and it's just a matter of listening and not reacting to those old patterns, and, getting stuck with your emotions, your mind, and your quote identity.
Yeah, we go back to this whole energetic around agenda, right? A child doesn't have agenda, and there's that purity. I think is that innocence from the child that we can rekindle with. And then learn to adult, doing the adulting thing, right? That we're being reminded of with Pluto back in Capricorn for a little bit. How can we up level the way that we do the adulting thing with the energetic of innocence and purity instead of, again, agenda and antagonism?
Mhm.
That is really, I think, where we can shift quite a bit, but it takes a lot of honesty and courage to go within, to really dig deeper and look at where is it that I am still projecting outward, where is it that I'm still blaming and shaming, to look away from where it is that I am actually sitting in a place of againstness.
Yep, yep. And it Vesta is sextile Mars. So if when we settle and we sit in that synchronicity that we've been talking about, and we're exposed to the quantum field, the quantum view, that's the time where taking action has to do with, you know, looking at the neuroplasticity, the vision, seeing the vision that we all collectively share in our hearts, of, of communing together, getting together, taking action together to create the world that our inner child has always seen. And, innocence is not naivety.
No,
Innocence is something that's beautiful. It is a part of our inquisitive souls to imbibe on this beautiful jewel called Earth. So
it is that energy that holds no judgment.
yes.
Right? Innocence is just inviting. It is not ignorance either, right? It really is the curiosity. I think we lack curiosity these days. And this is, again, a possibility for us to come together, like you say, but with the curiosity of the different opinions, the different perspectives, the different points of view. And instead of knee-jerking our way into judgment around the very binary, look at, okay, wow, this is really, really fascinating as to how many aspects the quote unquote truth can have. Right? We are looking through our own, again, wounded filters most of the time when it comes to truth. And if we are to form a better world, we need to get away from those filters. We need to be able to observe all of the different nuances that people come with in order for us to collectively create a truth that is in resonance.
Well, I think that really wraps it up, because this balance, in order to have balance, you have to be at the center. You have to have the truth as being the fulcrum of anything to go into this future. I think a lot of this giddiness that you and I were feeling as we approached this solar eclipse was a part of that, a part of that feeling of the truth is happiness and joy and community and seeing things thrive. And this is the real story. This is the real story of humanity. And I feel like today is the day where we really start to feel our humanity.
and looking at where it is that we connect, not where we are disconnected.
Yes. Thank you so much. I love doing these with you. And we have made a commitment. Another part of this eclipse is making a commitment. So we
Mhm.
made a commitment to try to be here every Wednesday, and we're going to do our darnest to make that
We're
happen.
going to do our very best, indeed. Yes.
So thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eben, as usual, and oceans of love.
Beautiful